Hi everyone, welcome to EvernotePositive. I've not been able to update the channel for quite some time now, both on Reddit and YouTube due to some personal reasons. But for me, YouTube is still pretty new, and as a result, even I'm able to see that some of the contents that I'm making is definitely falling short of quality. And I've just got a new tripod, and hopefully I'll streamline this process better because I just had a really what should have been a really good experience, but has got messed up, which I will later tell. Um, so yeah, so the last few weeks in Evernote have been business as usual. The weekly release cycles have been going on, and to summarize Evernote's weekly release cycle, generally they've had focus on several fronts, which has been quite the norm. They had focus on adding new features, um, mainly which have been stemming from the quality of life series, and then they've been revisiting older modules which needed serious revamps either from a functionality standpoint or from a UI UX standpoint, and they've been working on bugs and improving performance. But having said that, um, maybe we'll take each of this one by one. So adding new features, yes. So again, you can see that they have a new product page where now users can give feedback as to what new features they would like to be seen, and based on user feedback, Evernote is working on adding new features. Now, as a subset of this, when Evernote launches a new feature, if the feature is successful and well received, then as we can see, we've seen from several successful features that they have been add-ons to the existing feature. Templates being one, there were some add-ons added to templates, which is very much successful. And then going into feature revamps and UI UX revamps, again templates could be possibly the best example here in this case, because around 6 to 8 months back there was a very famous video from Vlad Campos, who expressed the dismal state of what templates existed in Evernote. And most of power users and experts, we really didn't rely on the existing template system. We had our own workarounds. Um, um, and now Evernote is taking the best of both worlds. They've taken some of the workarounds that experts were doing, and the templates experience was very much scattered earlier. Now they've consolidated it, and it's a much more finer experience now. Maybe we will do a separate video on templates. Then the other thing is that UI UX workarounds, and I think this is highly underrated. But now in the very recent version 10.131.3, so there are a couple of new features. One is the images toolbar has got revamped, and the PDF and editing UI has got revamped. Now, as far as these things go, if you look at from a user standpoint, if something really means something to you, then it'll be really really useful. But if it's something that you really don't use, then I don't think it's going to matter. So at the end of the day, it is really from the how the user perceives it. So in this case, if you look at me, how I look at it is the images toolbar. I don't think, I think it's pretty much just cosmetic. It's really not a big change here. They've just taken a bunch of options when you hover around an image and just placed it inside the image. So that is pretty cosmetic here. But the PDF UI is definitely a big change. Now the PDF UI, if you go into a bit of history, this comes from almost 10 years. Evernote had acquired a tool called Sketch. This was in Phil Libin's time, and the tool sets of Sketch were integrated into Evernote. And for a very very long period of time, that toolbar, that UI had remained, and the same UI had been taken over from the legacy and even integrated into the 10.x version. And you can see that it was very much dated. the UI, and for a new user it did not make much of sense. But now the new 10.131.3 has retained the functionality, but it has made a much more user-friendly UI, and I think the team has done good here, and hopefully they've not made introduced any bugs, and yeah, this was really a good UI for me. Um, and we'll just rush through. This last 3-4 weeks have had a few features. The light editor. The light editor primarily is an offshoot of the sharing experience. So it doesn't have. So when you share a note with someone externally, in most cases they don't need all the tool sets which is there inside the main Evernote editor. And in most cases, if they're just going to add a few bunch of text or just add a couple of attachments, the light editor is generally pretty good enough. And Evernote had introduced an option here for the users to view a note in the light editor. This was baked into the client itself. For a power user, I really don't see much of a utility value there, because we generally use all the features of what is there in the full core editor. But maybe it might be of some help for basic users. And then there was an improvement. Yeah, we were just talking about this. If there is a feature that is well received, then there is incremental utilities being added to that feature, and Spaces did get an option of sharing. This was in version 10.127, and then in 10.128 there were the option for sidebar customization. This was not so much helpful for power users or those who had already customized their left sidebar. But for those who did not do it, then there was some options again for the trash as well to be included there. And again, templates. Pinning templates, again, this was really helpful. If you are using a feature regularly, for instance, like daily notes. Daily notes is something that I don't use because I already had the habit of journaling, and I had my own system to do my journaling, and I would have my own custom templates if I needed to journal some specific use cases. And there, pinning templates, choosing and pinning a template right into the editor was a feature that I find very useful. So again, it's a user case. If a user uses a feature, then they might find it very useful. And hovering over a pinned note in Spaces. So because now the Spaces, when you went inside, you had these small blocks of text and the title was not visible clearly. And in 10.128 there was a new feature added, wherein if you moved your mouse and scrolled your mouse over the small box, you could read the whole title. So that was a nice utility increment. Then 10.129, daily notes was integrated into templates. Again, since I don't use daily notes much, but I find the templates feature very useful. Yeah, so that was an improvement for daily notes, where you could customize your default template, and you had a series of customization options. And font size, yeah, so font size earlier, you had to select your text and apply a certain pre-designated font which was there on the editor. Now users are free to type whatever font size that comes to their mind. So it's a just small increment. And then this was something that I personally enjoyed. So in the left sidebar there is a certain keyboard custom, wherein this is again for power users and those who are big fans of Evernote keyboard shortcuts. So in the left side bar, there was a certain chronology. Alt Control 1 was going to home, and then you had Alt Control 2, Alt Control 3, Alt Control 4, and so on. Like for instance, Alt Control 6 would open your notebooks page, Alt Control 7 would open your tags page, and so on. And this was also customizable in to another key if user needed. So following that tradition, because now templates kingdom, there's a new templates kingdom on your left sidebar. Evernote introduced an option, a pre-designated keyboard shortcut for Alt Control 9. It was following the existing custom of the Alt Control 1, Alt Control 2 series, and now if you apply Alt Control 9, it will by default open your templates kingdom. So that I think was definitely a very helpful and useful power user tool set. And the other thing was, so if you see in all these years, the new Evernote, which was purchased by Bending Spoons, has tried to create a balance between existing power users and new users. So in the past few years, if you see that Evernote has fallen behind on features, and now Evernote is trying to catch up with features which the market is providing. And so there comes a certain stage where when the more features you add, there are users who need more features, but there are users who find these features nagging. And one way of trying to balance both of these is customization. And we've seen, and customization also creates users to build in on their own workflows. And if somebody finds something irritating or disruptive, they can just turn it off. On the editor, Evernote introduced another option, and the best example for customization is the left side bar on desktop and the nav bar on mobile, which has been very successful, and it creates a perfect blend of what users want to see and what they don't want to see. So that's the idea here. And there was a similar circumstance where people were finding the slash command irritating, but some found the slash command really, really very helpful. Like users like us who rely very much on keyboard shortcuts, I mean, the slash command is very, very helpful. And similarly goes for the at symbol as well. So now users have the option of configuring this in the settings, where if you can have slash command trigger a bunch of options, or if you don't want them, you can just turn them off in the editors in the app settings. The same goes for add command as well. And and then there was comments, which was added in 10.130.x. Maybe I didn't find it very useful here because I'm not so much of a collaboration person. But yes, if you are someone who's involved in collaboration, there is the possibility of comments being quite helpful for users. And this version 10.131.3, the images toolbar, which I don't find very much of a major feature, but yeah, it's a cosmetic and a slightly less distracting improvement. The options when you click on the image have now been taken and placed it inside the image itself, just next to the transcribe button. And this thing, they've refreshed the UI for editing images and PDFs. I think that was fantastic. It looks really pretty, and it's retained the core functionality of the PDF, and including the major option, one of the very unique options of saving PDF screenshots, the summaries, right, and embedding them at the beginning of the PDF. Yeah, so these were some of the features that were added. And as usual, yeah, there have been some issues as well. So as a power user, I think I would like to pass this feedback on to Bending Spoons. Evernote, when it was acquired by Bending Spoons, had this period of utter stagnation. The app was absolutely lagging, and no one even gave the chance of the app coming back to a point of stability, speed, and catching up with the feature sets of other competing apps. But now I think going after we had about 2 years, I'm approximating, Evernote has kind of caught up with the features, and they've definitely improved a lot of features. They've improved a lot of stuff in the background. That I think was really, really, it's something that users take for granted. Real-time editing, which was left half-baked when the old Evernote team went. The current Evernote team had finished real-time editing. Rent was a major improvement in terms of speed and performance. And then there was some based on the same Rent concept, attachment syncing. Even that attachments sync much faster now. So there was a lot of background improvement. There was a lot of speed and sync improvements. Definitely, you have to give it to them. But amidst all this, there is also the problem here that on and off, things tend to break. So the reliability is, I think Evernote really needs to look into that. Evernote is building an application which a lot of users use in and out for their daily lives. This is not a gaming software. This is not an entertainment software. So I think in the release cycle, Evernote needs to prioritize stability and ensure that existing features don't break. I understand that they're working very hard on fixing existing bugs, which I think a lot of bugs, long-term bugs, have been slowly patched upon. But on and off, there are critical functions that tend to break, and that disrupts user workflow. Of course, as in the case for numbered lists, which I think happened a couple of releases ago, they did launch a patch immediately, a micro patch immediately, within a day after identifying that bug. But within their weekly release schedule, I think Evernote needs to find some way of uh, bringing a more reliable testing mechanism, and ensuring that critical functionalities do not break. I hope the Evernote team will look into that, because you do want to get into a situation where they've taken 10 good steps and you have one step and that just disrupts all the good work that they've done. No, the Evernote team is doing a lot of hard work, and being part of the experts team, I do know what they go through, and a lot of hard work is done. But I think they should put a little more emphasis on testing and ensure that reliable and critical functions do not break. And I hope Federico and his team will look into this. And really good luck for all the hard work and improvements that I've done. But I really do hope that the team is looking and ensuring that more reliable testing and better, some of these things don't, some of these bugs don't happen henceforth, or the volume of those critical bugs. See, bugs will happen. I mean, like any software will have bugs. That's understandable, and especially when you have a tightly packed weekly release schedule into Evernote, I think it is quite invariably inevitable that bugs will happen. That's okay, but there are some bugs which are critical and they break workflows. I think the team needs to look into some of those critical elements and ensure that those critical elements do not break. Yeah, thank you for watching this. Subscribe to Evernote Positive, and so yeah, I was talking about something which I had done in the last week. I had a conversation with he's not an expert actually, but someone who's well versed with Obsidian, and we had a very meaningful discussion on Evernote, comparing Evernote and Obsidian. But unfortunately, the audio got corrupted, so part of the audio is corrupted. It was a very open and transparent discussion of the strengths and weaknesses of Evernote, and also the on the other side as well. There is a saying that the grass is always greener. So there is a lot of people who say, like, who don't like Evernote for whatever reasons, and that's understandable. But there are a lot of people who say like Obsidian is the perfect replacement for Evernote, which is not the case. But yeah, that we will do in another video, and I'll try to see what can be done to restore that audio, or I'll try to create a summary and of that audio and put it up. It was a very open and very transparent discussion, and I would definitely like to put it out in the open, whatever can be salvaged of that audio. And if there are experts out here who have some knowledge about making videos, doing online interview recordings, and who can help me improve on Evernote Positive, I would like you to get in touch with me, because I want to improve the quality of some of the videos that I'm making. And if you're seeing this video, like this video if you like it, subscribe and share, and importantly, come over to Evernote Positive. We're doing a lot of positive work, and if you're an Evernote user, it will definitely help you. Thank you very much.